All right, well, now we're on episode 10 of Terrorisk. It's been a while, like I was saying before to Kane, that we haven't gotten a chance to get together like this virtually, spill our guts on the mic for like a couple of hours. Feels good, man. I was also just saying how I missed it. Kane, you said so too, right? You missed our little virtual sessions.
Your little soirees.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, it's fun. I'm having fun. I mean, ideally, like
yeah.
ideally, by the time we stop having fun, we could start getting paid, so we'd have a reason to keep doing it. Because like, hey, it pays the bills. I mean, not
Yeah,
that I
that's
should, not that I'm
true.
gonna quit my fucking day job yet, but. Actually, I should never quit my day job. I'm just not gonna fucking quit. Like, even if this podcast like ever does make a cent, I'm just gonna keep my fucking day job.
Yeah, I'd say keep it for now, until... I don't think you're going to be needing to quit that anytime soon.
I wonder how much money you have to see in your bank account before like quitting your job just becomes more and more of like a executable plan, and like a reasonably valid idea.
Well, it depends. Like, sometimes you get to the point where you become one of those people that just hoards money, and you're like, I'm just going to be a rich guy and just never spend any of my money and, like, keep accumulating more and more money and never, like, give up any of my sources of income. So you might be one of those guys. I don't know. It's like I don't know if you're a crypto bro anymore.
No,
But yeah, it
actually,
seems to be like their ethos.
no, I'm a stock bro, but like that's interesting you said that because someone else was like in the fucking Mikey Millions from like Kamikaze Cash on YouTube. He was in the Discord and he was basically saying like, yeah, you could just like put your money in like in growth stock long term plays and like whatever, but eventually you're gonna have to sell and put it into like a long term security like an index fund or something because if you don't spend your money, you're just gonna die rich.
And some people are happy with that. They just like to hoard their gold and then die on their big pile of jewels and gemstones, like a dragon.
I mean, who are the types of people that are really more prone to doing that, right? It's the conservatives, because the conservatives are like they care most about their hereditary legacy that they're a part of or that they're planning to leave behind, whereas the other side, the opposite of the conservatives, the fucking I guess Marxists or whatever, they're all the type of people that like need change to happen yesterday because they don't care about the fucking legacy or whatever. They just want to live a life where they can have self-actualization, to be like their idealized version of themselves, to be the happiest person that they could be. And
Conservatives reach a point where they're trying to focus their biological imperative into something that's like productive in the human scope, and it ends up just being income. So they don't really have any aim beyond that. They're just like, okay, well, this is all I need to do is just generate income for myself, and it's like the objective doesn't extend beyond like how much money they make. Like, they just see that in the bank account and they're satisfied because they're like, okay, well, this is what I set out to do. This is the plan. So I've achieved my plan. So, like, that's it. Like, they're comfortable.
yeah,
But, yeah, other people, like, feel the need to, put their money into different things after that.
yeah, like
That's,
like exotic animals that people shouldn't own.
well, my grandma's conservative and she has, like, a lot of birds. She's, like, one of those bird people.
Well, it's better being a bird person isn't nearly as like reckless as being like one of those monkey people. Like, those people who have like domesticated chimps or like little spider monkeys in their home. I'm like, dude, that thing could fucking rip your face off, man.
Well, the spider monkey, not so much, but a chimpanzee, sure. A spider monkey, that would just be like a nuisance and it's like throwing its feces everywhere. So yeah, it'd be like a biohazard. But I wouldn't be like prone to it might tear an eyeball out, when you're asleep. But a chimpanzee, definitely, that would be reckless.
Yeah.
I mean, like, didn't they ever see that like one special of that girl that got her face ripped off? She went, was it on Oprah that she went on? No, Oprah was just like, we're gonna do a face reveal so that you can show your grotesque face to the world.
No, they did that.
Yeah.
Did they give like a? Did they give
it
a?
was like a public? Yeah, it was a public unveiling.
Did they give like a discretionary title card like viewer discretion is advised?
Yeah, like disturbing images or like as follows or.
That's fucking
Disclaimer:
amazing.
remove kids from the room because you're about to see something hideous and. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was terrible. Like, it's obvious exploitation because, like, the pretense is obviously like they're okay, so we're gonna give this woman the exposure she deserves because she needs her story told. She needs everybody to know the dangers of chimpanzees when really it's just she wants attention because she lost her face, and this is the only way that she can get anybody to pay attention to her now is, oh, fuck, what happened to your fucking face? Well, let me tell you the story. So I got Oprah to do that for her, and Oprah is just banking on, like, this old school, like, old-timey kind of, like, a freak show component where she's just like, oh, great, we get a freak on. She actually thinks that she's being, like, you know, she's being body positive by showing her face to this audience that just gasps and cries as they see her. And, like, that can't be a healing experience for her. She's like, yes, this is me in my full glory, and I'm proud of who I am now. Like, how can you possibly be proud of that after, you know, knowing what you once were? I mean,
God
like,
bless her.
she can't see now. So it's not like she can see, like, the dramatic difference. But, I mean, if she can feel her face, she can probably feel, like, you know, it's just, like, this gross, lumpy mass. And know, like, how frightening it is to behold.
For sure. God bless her, man, owning her shit, you know? Like, yeah, I look like a freak, but I'm okay with that. And what else can you be besides okay with it? Not okay with it? That doesn't sound like very conducive.
I mean, if you were her, would you, like, just go into seclusion, or would you get your 15 minutes of fame first and make sure people know? Was
she doing, like, important work? Was she, like, saving the chimpanzees or trying to cure something?
It was like a friend of somebody that was trying to do that. Like, she, like, just went over to this woman's house, and her chimpanzee happened to be out and loose, and she just got attacked by this chimpanzee, like, unprovoked.
I shouldn't be laughing, but I can't help it. I mean, it's just
like, her friend, like what a betrayal that is. Her friend continues to, like, try and save chimpanzees, and she's like, bitch, what about me? Like, my life is ruined now.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's absurd. That's why it's funny, because the absurdity of it. It's just not something you hear about every day. Like, you go to your friend's house.
The imagery for me, the imagery is what gets me. Is like the chimpanzee just clawing the face off. That's what gets me.
Oh man, fuck.
Just like just on a dime. Like, it has seemingly no reason for it to do that.
Yeah, how's your recording doing, by the way?
It's going fine, going strong so far.
All right, good. Oh shit, fucking, I'm so burnt out from this week of work. Not that you would know, but actually, are you still, like, vigorously looking for gainful employment?
I don't know about vigorously. Maybe, like, one application a week. You know, that's vigorously for me right now, because, like, it's just the act of even going out of my way to, like, do that and fill out an application takes a psychological toll on me. To, like, know what I'm getting myself into. It, like, reminds me of that Morrissey song where he's like, I forget the lyrics. I was about to actually go into something neat there, but I never wanted a job, then I got one, and now heaven knows I'm miserable now, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I'm seeking a job begrudgingly because I know it's what I'm supposed to do. You know,
you should. Sorry, I got distracted because my fucking cat was, like, being a dick. But, would you ever consider taking this web development course with me?
With you? What do you mean?
There's this free developer course that I've been taking. Actually, what kind of computer do you have?
I have an Asus laptop, and my desktop is just some cheap case with, I could list you the parts. Just like an
No, all right, then you could. I just wanted to see if you had, like, a machine that could handle running a virtual.
I have a machine that can perform the operation. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you should take it with me, man, and we can learn a thing or two.
But why? Why? Just learning, just for the sake of learning?
Apparently, once you take this course, you'll be like entry level job ready, and once you get in on an entry level job, you have to just keep at it, I guess.
Well, where am I now? If I'm not am I sub entry level job lab? Like, what? I mean, I'm eligible for a lot of different jobs. Like, a web developer course isn't going to help me get a job at Dunkin' Donuts.
Is that what you want? A job at Dunkin' Donuts?
No, but I mean, out of all the entry-level jobs available, that seems to be the best one.
You actually, you know what? You get free. You get free coffee. Do you drink coffee?
I used to. I would if I had it available to me. Usually, I just drink energy drinks.
Yeah, man. I started drinking. Oh man, you just made me realize, like, I've been slacking on my energy drink game. Now I've been just drinking fucking black coffee.
That's a good thing to slack on. It's not a very good vice to have.
I mean, that was like my brand at one point. I loved energy drinks. Like that was my shit. And then I just stopped. It's cuz I don't know, I think when I was trying to like, cut out sugar, I realized like, yeah, energy drinks definitely have to go because it's mostly sugar. Unless you get like sugar-free Red Bull, which sucks.
Yeah, I would never get that. I mean, what? I'm not about to have diabetes anytime soon, so.
I mean, I know why people. Yeah, I know why people get it. It's because it's like 10 calories per can, so you could see why it's attractive.
If you're obese, but I don't think you're obese.
No, I mean even people who aren't obese, it's like, I guess like if you're a calorie counting type person. But then again, if you are concerned about like nutrition, then you shouldn't be fucking drinking any kind of Red Bull anyway. Like that's just counterproductive, you know?
Whatever. I mean, Red Bull's not bad. And my mom is one of those calorie counting people, but I can't be fucked to do it. I mean, I just don't get fat. So, until I start to get fat, I usually only get fat when I drink. So that's the only time that I really have to like cut down on what I eat. But as of right now, I'm just eating, popcorn, chips. Today I didn't eat anything. I just ate a bag of white cheddar popcorn from Royal Farms.
Yo, it's been so long since like I just sat down and faced a bottle of whiskey like this. It was because it's been so long since we did an episode of the podcast.
That was like a Pavlovian response. Like every time you hear my voice, you must get drunk.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like every episode that we've done so far, I just got pretty hammered. Like it's just what I was doing, getting fucked up.
Is there a reason behind that, or like just feeling like you needed to be social?
No, it's more like I like the trend. Like I've listened to our show before, and it's not what I intended at first. I just wanted to like party and get drunk with you guys, you and Jay. But I realized like you could hear the fucking transition. Like when I start and I crack the bottle, I'm relatively sober, and then I progressively get drunker, and like you could feel the dynamics of the show like subtly change, and I like that. It amuses me,
Yeah, you're changing the atmosphere.
Exactly. It's just like hanging out at a bar. You first get to a bar with your friend, you have a couple of drinks, you're relatively sober, you have your first round maybe, and then before then you talk about surface level shit, and then you get into more personal shit once you get a little braver with the alcohol and you start losing your inhibitions bit by bit. You start spilling shit you probably shouldn't spill.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on anything right now, so like I would just adapt, I guess, to you. Just adjust my spillage to your rate of spillage.
Yo, could you do me a favor? If my voice on the mic starts to sound like echoey, let me know. It would be because I have to make sure like I'm facing like open space when I talk into the mic, because I'm like directly in front of like a mad solid wall. So it's just gonna like bounce back and cause like this shitty echo sound. I just gotta either reposition this fucking mic or get a new one that I could just like hold in my hand and like lay down on the floor with or walk around with or something,
Yeah. I mean, that would help you better. I mean, I'm not sensing anything right now. No echoes or anything. You sound clear.
No. I mean, at least I'm good. Just let me know if it does. And yeah. God damn, this cat is like my cat. Fucking, he's just laying on my lap right now, and he's like so affectionate. I think it's because I got him as a kitten, so I'm like all he knows.
Yeah, domestic animals tend to be pretty affectionate towards humans, especially cats and dogs and things of that nature. But it's what they were bred for, right? I mean, cats apparently are a more recent addition to the human condition or whatever, the human mix. Like, they just wandered into town one day and started meowing because they heard us, like, talking to one another, and they thought, like, okay, that's how they communicate, so we'll ingratiate ourselves by meowing. So they didn't really have to evolve to be compatible with humans. All they had to do was learn how to exist in the same space. Whereas dogs are like, they're supposed to be like these, work animals that help you out whenever you need it. So that's why dogs are always there, like, at your beck and call. And it's kind of annoying to me to, like, just have them there looking at you all the time. Just, like, go do your own thing, find something else. And they're like, no. Like, it's like they don't know what to do with themselves. Whereas a cat is like, just this fucking thing living in your house, and that's what I like about him. And if you can get affectionate with it, all the more better. Yeah, my cat is pretty affectionate with me. I've been playing with her more roughly lately, just to like add some spice to our life.
Gotta add a little bit of domestic abuse in the mix, you know.
We have it's too vanilla between us two. I mean, there's nothing there. We need to have our spark back. And she's 3 years old. She's getting up there.
You gotta start random fights.
Yeah, and she does sometimes too. And I'm like, what are you doing? She just starts tackling me for no reason. I'm like, I see. It's almost like, oh, it's like a pitiful thing. Like, I see what you're trying to do here between us. Like, I'll indulge you, okay? If it'll make you happy. Mercy.
With my guy, it just makes me feel bad, like, you know, because, like, I leave him alone at home for, like, long periods of time, and I just feel sad, like, maybe he gets lonely when I'm gone. But really, this lazy motherfucker probably just sleeps all day, you know?
It's an animal. It's just happy to be alive.
True,
People say, like, you gotta play with your cat more. Your cat is depressed. It's like, cats don't get depressed. Okay, cats, they're either starving or they're fine. And those are the two modes of cats. Or they have some sort of disease or cancer or whatever. But those are, contingencies. Don't have to worry about those until later on, until they're like 12 or so.
Oy vey. I hope these spirits lift my spirits, because, man, I'm pretty shot. I'll admit it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But it's all good. I'm feeling good. I got my cat on my lap. I'm talking to my buddy Kane.
That's right.
Maybe I just feel like I'm in a funk because I got Johnny Walker Black instead of Jameson. You know, usually the Jameson's my go-to, but today I went with Johnny Walker Black Label.
You have my condolences that you picked the wrong alcohol to drink.
It's actually great, man. This shit's going down real nice. When was the last time you had a drink? 4 months or some shit?
It's been 3 months. Yeah,
3
March
fucking
12th.
months. Damn.
I wonder if I should sign up for like one of those chip programs so I can get a chip and actually be like a full-fledged alcoholic.
You mean like a...
Hmm?
Wait, what were you saying?
Because then I could like join the community and be like, actually have some... Well, I mean, it's not that hard to like quit drinking. Once you stop, it only gets easier as you go on. But I kind of want some more, congratulatory, sentiments coming from people elsewhere. And like they only really give those to the people that are actually alcoholics in AA. So, but I feel like that would also be like in a symbolic sense, kind of succumbing to the addiction by saying I'm an alcoholic for life. But I think I have enough self-awareness to be able to like just be able to, to finesse them for the chip thing, but also, know that I'm not going to relapse anytime soon. Just, yes, I know it's been a struggle the entire time, and just got my 3-month chip. And then they like, at AA meetings, they'll like give you hugs and kisses, and they'll cry for you and cry on your shoulders. It's like, wow, these people are really, it's a real problem for them.
It's a support network. They have to support each other. That's what they do. They help each other through their addictions so that they could get clean, and they could go back to maybe their wives respecting them again, or their jobs taking them back, or so they don't go to jail.
Yeah. I'm just like so alien to that kind of affection, or that kind of support rather.
What do you mean, like hugs and kisses?
Yeah, I wasn't touched as a baby. It's like one of those the results.
It's like your
Harlow experiment.
It's like your mother only carries you with like rubber gloves on. Like.
Yeah, it was because she cared for me. She didn't want me to get infected.
Yeah.
It wasn't because she just didn't want my cooties. It's
that
a disgusting thing.
That could fuck your kid up too, though. If you try to like shelter them from even like bacteria, like, You just gotta let the kid get like ridiculously ill, Hopefully they survive it, and then they'll.
I survived apparently. I think I'm gonna survive for a long time now. I was ridiculously ill like really early on. Like my mom was one of those people that would like put her kids together with her like, how people would get chicken pox, and like they would purposely infect kids with it so that they don't like get it later on in life. Like I was one of those kids. Like she put me in a batch of kids that had chicken pox.
That's
Not,
chicken.
she didn't tell me about it.
It's a chicken pox party.
Yeah, like I was like, who are these kids and why do they all like deathly ill? My mom was like, you'll be playing with these kids for the next couple of days. No questions. I was like, all right. And yeah, like next thing I know, I'm like almost dying in bed. I'm like, what happened? I've never felt this sick before in my life. And she didn't tell me till years later. I don't think she. It was probably a good move on her part. I wouldn't have been able to, forgive her for that.
That's like a funny conversation between moms. It's like, hey, little Jimmy has the chicken pox, and the moms are like, ooh, although we could do a group thing, we could all get the chicken pox.
Yeah, it's like a play date, and then all the moms get together for a book club or something.
Yeah, or they get drunk at a wine bar.
Wasn't there like a South Park episode about this?
It's probably somewhat of a commonly used trope, I think.
Yeah, I think like Cartman, he was one of those kids, and like he was like appalled that his mom would have the gall to like infect him purposely, like not fully understanding what her intention was, but like the trickery involved was what he took issue with, and that's what I would have as well.
Mm-hmm. Yo, what's your recording time at, by the way?
It's at 23:55.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. What's yours at?
21 counting. Damn, so you got like 2 extra minutes of recording there or some shit. Oh wait, so what did it, when it like stopped and started again, it like kept like the stuff before or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just cut that bullshit out.
All right.
I'll fucking cut it in the editing room.
In the editing
Chop
bay.
it up.
Chop it and screw it.
Yep. Shout out to DaVinci
DJ
Resolve.
Screw. Huh.
Shout out to the software that we use to edit our YouTube content. It's a free video editing software, DaVinci Resolve.
Shout out to Audacity. Shout out to Windows. Shout out to
Windows.
Asus.
Fuck Windows, bro. Fuck that shit.
Shout out to IBM. Shout out to every precursor.
Mm-hmm. Ever since I got vaccinated, I've just been clicking purchase on Microsoft Windows over and over again. Is that normal?
What? Come again?
Come again. Let me come the first time. Speaking of come, I started talking to this girl off of Facebook. And that's all I'm going to say about that, but I'll give you more intel as this situation develops. We're currently communing.
The seeds for a love interest arc. It's coming up soon.
We're currently communing over text messaging. It's not like I ever ask, especially a girl, like I never ask a girl for her number. I'm just like, here's my number. You can text me if you want. The ball's in your court. As opposed to like, asking for their number, it's like harvesting their fucking private information. I'm like, nah, I'll just offer mine. And,
Well, there is the consequence that you're experiencing right now where you're fretting about it and wondering, when is she ever going to text me?
No, I mean, she did text me. We have been talking. It's just, right when like the conversation was getting good, I started like asking some relevant questions. I started getting some like pretty dense bodies of text as answers. That's when it was time to do this podcast. So I guess, I guess once I get back to it, I'll keep you updated. I'll give you regular sit reps.
Oh, sweet.
Commander.
Looks like I'm, in the know, people.
You
aren't.
You are Commander Kane. You're the officer with a daddy, with a colonel as a father, and you got a leg up, and you went to West Point.
And what's
Jewish.
this you're trying to portray yourself as on Facebook? An older brother archetype? It's Oni-san.
What do you mean?
POV, your older brother is picking you up from school.
Oh, that picture, yeah. Because I don't know, because I didn't want to just
Oni-san.
It was a funny looking picture, so I was like, I gotta caption it with something, and I was like, point of view, your older brother is picking you up from school. I would be a sick older brother, picking up their younger brother from school. I'll be the coolest guy there, pulling up my fucking like Subaru, getting like loaded, fucking with sunglasses on, blasting
Cocaine and Call Me by Blondie.
Hells yeah. Are you just reading my statuses?
Cocaine and call me Black Blondie.
You ever listen to that song?
Yeah, I like that song. It's good. But like
It's a sick
cocaine
song.
in conjunction with that, then that's Call Me by Blondie and cocaine together.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like a time machine.
Transports you right to the 80s.
Hells yeah, brother. Not that I'd ever want to fucking go to the 80s. That shit look corny as fuck.
Yeah, well, they had some nice jackets though. I don't know, there's some retro 80s wear that I can get into.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always that one thing about the 80s. Despite the 80s, in general sucking, there's always something about the 80s that everyone likes. Like, for some people, it's the cars. For other people, it's the fashion. For other people, it's the video games. And for many people, it's the fucking music.
I guess I'm the fag for liking the fashion.
No, I mean, I'd say you're the fag for liking the music. That's the real awful part about the 80s. Even though I listen to it, I like it.
Blondie's good though. Heart of Glass, fucking classic. Yeah.
Dude, I like the 80s music. I'm basically admitting to be I'm the fag. Like,
I just love how sincere you are with these. Just
what do you mean?
So candid. Just cocaine and call me by Blondie. That's me, baby.
The
Okay,
fag.
I'll stop. It's kind of. I don't know.
Wait, do you think
there was this one thing I wanted to ask you about that girl. Isn't that girl from your band?
Daniela? No, I haven't. No, it's not her. This other girl is from outside the city, in one of the neighboring areas, alternate cities other than New York City.
New Paltz.
You should you should meet the singer to my band. You'll get a kick out of her. She's fun.
Yeah, perhaps. Maybe I'll finally get laid after 2 years of celibacy. Voluntary,
No.
of course.
No.
One
That's
concerted
not-
act of discipline.
I don't know. She's weird about that shit. Like, it's just hard to tell, like,
I'm
who
just
she's
really-
actually into.
I mean, I'm not like, overly flirtatious or sexual guy. Like I'm kind of like open when it comes to sexual humor. Just like,
Oh my God.
shit, those two fucking ain't they? Just
No, she was like, all right, so me, her, and my drummer, like three of us, we're pretty old friends. Like, we go back like many years. And the one time we were in the city, and it was the three of us, and she was like talking to him, and I was like walking behind them. And she was like, don't you just miss the days when like we were all friends and we would all just like hook up with each other and stuff? And I just wanted to punch her in the back of the head. I was like, that's fucking disgusting, Daniela. Shut the fuck up.
Like, did that even ever happen? Those were the days, huh? So
No,
I think you're looking at the rose-tinted glasses there. I don't know if you're
It was
all
just
hooking up today.
the most like cringe thing I've ever heard. And I was like,
And now
oh
we're
God.
adults and we all have our different lives and we can't complicate them like that. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. We can continue if you like. I mean, if you're that yearning of the past, if you're that
Oh God. Yeah,
that
so-
wistful.
No, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good fun, and it's all love.
Yeah,
you
she
know,
sounds
we-
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. But
like a
yeah,
fun
hopefully,
dude.
we get the band rolling, so we can start playing shows. That would be cool. I'd like to start playing shows. I mean, I'm fucking doing this at like 30 years old, but whatever.
Just stop with the 30, dude. It's the new 20. Yeah,
Don't-
Come on.
Come on. we all
30
know.
30's the new 10. Okay, 30.
If you fuck a 30-year-old, you're basically a pedophile.
Exactly.
You're fucking with a child, a literal kid.
If you're a 30-year-old and you're fucking another 30-year-old, you're both going to jail and hell.
I think there are places like that where even if you're a minor having sex with a minor, you still get charged for like having sex with a minor.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know, like why the laws don't account for that. I mean, they know that, teens are sending pictures back and forth to each other, right? But it's like technically considered child porn what they're sending to each other. But they're allowed to have sex with each other. So it's like, it's weird that they're allowed to see the other person, but they can't. Well, they're not allowed to see the person, but they can fuck them. So it's
Yep.
like the defiling is being done, but like, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, what is the law's stance on that? Like, do they just... It's because of the distribution factor, I guess. It's easy to have that, spread and circulated around.
Yo, in Catholic school, like they'll during their sex education, like they'll teach you all the relevant information about reproduction and stuff. But then they'll also add this layer of like bullshit where it's like, yes, and also masturbating is wrong. And then the kids are like looking back and forth like, why? Why is it wrong? And then like,
It just is. I mean, just read the book. There it is.
They're like it's not what you're doing to yourself that's the sin. It's what's going on in your mind. That is the sin.
Any given time, there's rarely anything going on in my mind. It's weird. It's just nothing. But for some reason, like externally, as I'm in action, things are just happening through my mouth, like automatically. I don't know. It's weird. It just happens. But like, if I close my mind or my eyes right now, like, what's in my mind? I just see darkness. Maybe like some blue tint.
Some blue tint. Are you sure you're not having a stroke? Like,
is that what strokes do? They give you blue tint?
No, I just completely made that up.
Because I always see lights, and people are like, "Oh, that's a sign of a stroke." But what else are you gonna see? Like, if you just close your eyes after like seeing bright lights everywhere, then you're gonna have like after images.
Imagine if you just saw cocks like right before having a stroke. It's the last thing you see, just penises.
That'd be a humorous end, I guess.
Is that what you'd find humorous? I'd be really sad. I'd be like, really? This is the last thing I have to gaze upon?
Well, how would you know it'd be the last thing, You wouldn't know until after it'd be too late.
I guess, yeah, and then you wouldn't really give a shit, because, well, you'd be dead.
Exactly, so yeah.
Man, I gotta tell you, dude, I'm really loving this new apartment as I get it more spruced up. I just added a fan, so it keeps me cool in the hot summer weather. I got a plastic triple-decker drawer for all my clothes, so they're not just all in a box and scattered all over the floor.
You should have like an indoor koi pond that takes up like the entire living room.
Oh, and I got a coffee maker, so I could make myself some coffee. I even bought a bag of Dunkin' Donuts medium ground coffee, and yeah, I'm stoked, man, because I plan to be like I plan to spend like late nights in front of this fucking computer making things, because that's what I do.
The koi pond idea isn't grabbing you, huh?
No, I'm not gonna fucking do a koi pond in here.
Just flood your entire house and just walk through out of it on stilts. You have to like get out of your bed. It's a hammock, and then the entire.
No, you'd have to have like
flooded.
you'd have to have like segmented rocks, like a rock path, like so you could like kind of like walk on them like playing hopscotch, just jump from each rock to rock, and then.
Or if you want to get your exercise in instead, then you could have like just a series of rungs coming from the ceiling.
And then all the furniture is like on like suspended platforms that sticks out of the water, so it's like on this like mini dry island, like the TV is on its own platform, and then the cat is just like mad pissed off, like, why the fuck would you do this to me? Like, do you hate me?
The cat's like, I have no way to get anywhere. I'm just like on this rock.
I'm pretty sure a cat could get anywhere a person can, like he could probably make it to the different like furniture points,
Well, he could swim there, but he wouldn't be very happy about it.
No, I mean, if I had like a little like laid rock path that comes out of the water, and I just use that to like get around from like point to point, from like node to node, where like the TV is, where the computer is, where the couch is.
This is your design. I'm thinking no rock. You're just having rungs everywhere. Just a series of rungs. You have to monkey your way everywhere, so that you're constantly in motion and exercising.
You get mad swole like that, man.
Yeah, you build like an orangutan after like a week. And it is kind of like an orangutan exhibit, like the way that this place is set up that I'm thinking of right now. And it kind of like reminds me of Kramer's idea for how he was going to set up his apartment. He was saying he's going to have levels. He has like an apartment, but he's going to have like fucking 5 stories within the apartment. It's like a children's playground that he just crawls around in, like a series of tubes. He just like goes around, and he figures like that's a more efficient way of living. He thinks like he can store more items that way because there's all this empty space in the air that could be used for holding items that he could store there.
That's pretty cool.
Basically turning it into like a giant storage locker.
That's what people are going to be living in the future, you know, storage lockers. It's going to...
Oh, have you seen those things in Japan? They're like pods. You just sleep in it's like a coffin, pretty much.
Yeah, get in the pod and eat the bugs.
They're like little hotels where you just get into a capsule, and then it's like a little shutter it's like an aluminum foil just slide that you put over the end that's your privacy.
They've always been fucking weird. Like you were able to buy like ladies' underpants and vending machines. They're the reason why like we have vending machines now where you could buy like fucking fucking AirPods and like PSPs and shit.
Yeah, it's great. Like at the mall around here, you have like there's like entire TVs dangling. It's like, dude, like it's gonna break as soon as I manage to get my prize. But yeah, like the ladies' underwear thing, I think that was a myth. It was an urban legend.
Did you do research on it? Did you debunk it yourself?
Well, because I watched this Tom Green special. It was called Subway Monkey Hour, and he went to one of these places where you could buy used underwear, and he was like, "I'm looking for a Christmas gift for my mother, so I want to get some used ladies' underwear. She's just into that." And they were like, "Oh, okay, well, whatever you like," and yeah, after that, I was like, I gotta figure out if this is real. Like, this seems like it's unsustainable. And apparently it's very niche, right? Like, people, they make it out to be like, you just find this in like the middle of metropolitan centers. Like, Japan is so weird. Like, as soon as you get off the airport, they're just shoving ladies' underwear in your face. It's like,
they're shoving like child pornography in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hand drawn, but still, like,
this
it's
lolly
bad.
porn. Well, over there it's like legal, I guess, but that's Japan porn. It's like, what happens in Japan?
No, child porn isn't fucking legal in Japan. In fact, I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were talking about how like they're trying to take... This one lady was making a ruckus in Japanese parliament. She was like trying to stand up for the rights of young girls who get tricked into signing up into like these porn video contracts, and they end up like doing like slave labor pretty much. And basically what she's trying to do is she's trying to pass a law that's where you, even after you like an 18-year-old signs it, they have to give it a point of like wait like 12 years before they could 12 months before they could actually do the porn. And no, it's not that they have to wait 12 months, but I think they have to like wait a few months. But they have like after it's released, they have a period of like 1 year where at any given time the actress, we'll call her, can revoke like she could change her mind and be like, no, I want this taken down. I want this taken off of your distribution, and I want it like deleted. And it got passed. And what happened was like when she first presented it, like everybody in the room laughed, and that reaction got so much backlash that they actually passed the bill, in response.
They're so sickened by this cruel display of laughter at this kind of naive request, admittedly. I mean, what does she expect? Everybody's going to just conform with her demands to take all of her pictures off the internet in general? Like, do you know how many resources that would take? I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, I don't think... Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, too. Like, it's not like if it gets leaked, it gets leaked. If it's out there, it's going to get ripped, copied, distributed, like, outside from third party, fourth party, fifth party. And, like, you can't really help that. But, when it comes to the guys who are, like, directly making money off of it by, like, selling it on, like, a web shop or some shit, those are the guys that really take the hit. It's, like, the Yakuza bosses that, like, fucking blackmail teenage girls and shit to doing porn for them.
Well, then, yeah, I agree with the policy. It sounds good.
Yeah, it is good.
And like, 18-year-old girls, they don't really know what they're getting into. They've just become an adult, and they're probably rebelling from their parents' rule. They just like want to get into some field that they think like. I mean, sex work is being really advocated for now, and like it's, I guess it's considered like okay and mentally like sound business practice to get into, but
I don't think that's gonna fucking last, dude. I mean, I get what they're trying to do, trying to like it's basically normalizing it, because enough people do it where they're collectively saying like we shouldn't feel ashamed for doing this. This is how we make our money. This is how we put food on the table, and like at some point, yeah, it could work, but it's like it takes it too far, you know, because it only worked in the first place because it was something that was like generally like out of sight, you know, for the majority of the populace. But now it's like if you're pushing it into like this mainstream thing, I mean, but you can't help it, right? Because too many kids are like, you know, like parents shove iPads in front of their kids' faces when they're like 4 years old. Eventually, they're gonna figure some shit out, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at porn at like, what? Yeah, I was like 10, 11. Couldn't even like jack off yet, and I was looking at boob porn on Google.
Was it nice? Did you like it? Like, what were your thoughts? What was your thought process as a fucking 10 or 11-year-old looking at the...
At first, I thought I was going to get in trouble. Like, I just looked up the search query boob porn on, like, my mom's computer.
I looked up sex.
Sex.com.
Yeah. I was one of those.
And it was, like, one of those GIF sites where there's a bunch of just, like, you know, just swinging jugs. And I couldn't handle it at first because I'd never seen anything like that. It was, like, the only tits I'd ever seen up to that point were, like, my mom's. And I was like, what are these? These are a different thing entirely. Just a different species almost. I was like, what am I looking at? Aliens. So I like exited out and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get in trouble. My mom's gonna know I'm looking at porn. Like,
did you go back?
Eventually, later on, like I went, like maybe I was like 12 or 13. Like by that point, I got a PSP, and my friend Brian had helped me root it. So like my dad had dial-up internet, so I was able to like look up porn on the internet there. So I would have to go to my friend Brian's house and download porn at his house onto my PSP, and then bike back home like 30 minutes away. And then I would jack off to like the porn that I had downloaded, which was like really paltry. It was like it was literally just like pictures of girls in bikinis. Like I was afraid to like do anything too drastic, because like Brian wouldn't let me like go actual to like, you know, he wouldn't let me get like actual Pornhub or anything like that because his parents are like strict Vietnamese. Like
that's mad funny.
Overbearing Asian parents, and they would, you know, monitor his internet use. But
fucking Asian parents, man.
I mean, you know that firsthand, don't you?
Yeah, yes I do. You know what? I will give them this. I will give Asian parents this. Usually, they know how to cook some damn good food.
They do. And the way that Brian treated his parents for like cooking him good meals all the time was reprehensible. Like his mom would, like, well, she would just like cook this ornate dish that took like 45 minutes to, you know, whip up, and she was like chopping everything and putting it all together, and it was like beautiful. It was like a painting almost. And like if she like brought it to him at the wrong time, he would just like push it back in her face and say, "Fuck off, Mom, I'm playing video games, get the fuck out of here." And then she would just like shout back at him in Vietnamese like, "Wait, yeah." And I'd be like, what just happened? She's like, she seems very angry. I was like, I didn't know how to handle it because like I had never encountered like a family dynamic like that. And Brian was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll just go eat it later. So I guess like their terms of endearment are like rather harsh in that language.
I think it's more like, I mean, it wasn't like I was like that. It was just, it's like, when it comes to Asian parents, I think, like, especially when they're not from this country, like, the way they show love is by giving food. You know, that's just what they know. That's all they know. It's not like they ever really learned, like, nuanced forms of affection afforded to people that are, like, from, like, you know, that enjoy the trappings of a first world country on their in the day-to-day lives. Like, most of these people were, like, borderline peasants.
Well, that's all they can offer to the other... Like, there are generations below them that have already like learned how to speak English, and they can barely speak it. So that's like how they, you know, show their love and affection and care. Like, here, I'm nourishing you. I can't talk to you and stimulate you that way, so I'll do it this way. Like, Italians do the same thing.
Yeah, and you could see how I like it, I get it. You know, I understand it and I appreciate it. But if you're the kid and you're growing up in that environment, it gets frustrating because, you know, the food is good. Yes, food is good. Thank you, food is good. But I'd really like to be able to talk to you about like my anxiety and stuff. It's like, no, I don't want these fucking dumplings. No, I don't want you to.
Therapist, like.
You should be able to talk to you should be able to talk to your parents about shit, right? But then like when you're raised by Asian immigrants, the shit you experience like at school and stuff, you come back and you'll know that they'll never fucking understand. The only thing they'll tell you is like, "Oh, well, you should be focusing on your studies anyway," you know, because they're Asian. That's what they do. That's what they say. And like you can't blame them. So you just don't even try, and then you end up like repressing all of it, and you bottle it up, and you either become like a socially awkward like fucking freak show Asian, and plenty of them are like that. You know, they're like borderline autistic. And then you have the absolute degenerates like me who just like found like outlets through like drug use and alcohol and damn, dude, I'm feeling this fucking scotch. See, this is why I fucking drink during these recordings. Because I'll start out and I'm like, oh, man, how am I going to do, like, a whole 2 hours of this? And then I get drinking and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm in it. Like, I'm fucking in it, bro.
So you're like one of the Warped Tour Asians. You got it that way.
No,
So,
I fucking
socializing.
hated Warped Tour, dude. I was not into that scene. First of all, like, I was, you know, as a teen, I was like, it's not that I was poor. It's just like, you know, like coming from immigrants, you're talking about people who would never see like the need to like buy you, like a teenager, a fucking cell phone or anything like that. You know, like they don't see a need to like buy you things that make you fit in.
It's solely endemic to like the Asian culture. I mean, my parents were the same way. Like they were pretty just study heavy and saying like, just get your schooling out of the way and then you can go do whatever what you want. And what I wanted to do was just be left alone and read my books. And they didn't really extend their parenting beyond that. And yeah, like that's pretty much how it went for me as well.
You know what, Kane? I predict a bright future for you, dude. Honestly, because like, what are you, like 27 now?
Yeah. 27.
Yeah, you know, when I was 27, I was sort of kind of in the same place, except the only difference was I had a job. You know, like.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, I'm aware of that. I've weighed, you know, the pros and cons of not having a job, and I feel like I'm trying to work on my mental health, and I think that's a good investment, is working on yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're fucking, you know, constantly like doing psychotic shit and thinking psychotic thoughts, you're not going to be able to hold down a job. So yeah, you gotta take care of your head, your noodle.
No, I don't like the implication there. I'm not constantly thinking about those kinds of things. Could easily.
You know,
get
it
a
actually
job.
it actually made me think of like Adam Friedland. You know, like when he first moved to fucking New York City, he was jobless. You know, he barely had any prospects in comedy, and you know, he stuck it out. He was like shitting his pants and shit. Like,
I mean, he kind of settled into a position of like he was an organizer, right?
I think he's trying to be an artist. He's trying to sell his art, you know, like paintings and T-shirts and shit.
Well, now he is,
like,
but he started out as like an organizer. He would like book acts, you know, like he would book shows for people, and he would be like the guy that just organized it all. And he would be like the manager.
I thought he was a lawyer
you know.
too. Didn't he try to be a lawyer at some point?
He was a paralegal.
But he didn't take the bar, or he failed the bar, or something.
I don't think he. Yeah, a paralegal. I don't think you need to take a bar exam for that. I don't know exactly, but it's sort of like a subsidiary position for a lawyer. I think they just do like the grunt work, but yeah, like that's just something he got into because of his family, obviously. But
Yeah, and you know, he was like 27. I'm pretty sure he was like 27 at that point too, which is funny. 27. No, 27 is not the age where everyone dies, right? It's 23.
It is 27.
Oh shit! Wow, 27 is a fucking age, yo.
It's been a tumultuous year. And yeah.
No, I mean, I remember when I was 27, it was like the fucking same deal. My life was weird, man.
Yeah, it is weird. It's rocky. But, you know, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, when I was 27, I ended up fucking up an engagement. Like, I had a fiance, and I ended up fucking that relationship up, and it completely, like, altered the course of my life in God knows how many ways, but here we are. You know, and it's not like I regret it. I mean, I obviously regret doing bad things, like the wrong thing, but, like, I mean, at the same time, if shit like that never happened, then we wouldn't be here doing this fucking fantastic podcast.
Yeah, fate takes its course, and there's, like, some saying about embrace fate or love fate or whatever. It's like this French phrase that I tried on purpose not to remember because I hate remembering French phrases like that. It just seem like faggy and pretentious whenever you recite them. But the idea is like just be content with your fate and like how things have gone in your life, because like it's not healthy to view it as a cope. Like that's something that I've picked up. It's like a negative thing from the internet. Like people will say, "Oh well, you're just viewing this retrospectively like in a positive light because you're coping." And so, well, yeah, I mean, so a cope isn't always a bad thing.
Well, I mean, we only have, as human beings, right? We only have two responsibilities in life, which is to learn and to cope with what we learn. That's all we got to do, really.
Cope, deal, whatever.
Exactly.
There's
I
one.
learned that that was a line from Shameless. That's a good show, man. Actually,
I've
it
never
fell
seen
off in
that.
the later season. It's really good at first, and then it really falls off like after a while. I mean, it still has its moments, but nothing will beat like the early seasons. I'm sure a lot of shows are like that, though. To be honest.
What is it about?
Basically, this really poor family from South Side Chicago, and they're white. That's like a really important distinction. Otherwise, it would just be like literally a show about poor black people, which has been done. But they're like, what if we just made them white? You know, like, yeah.
So they're like an urbanized family. They're Uyghurs per se.
No, they're just fucking poor.
So they're like white trash, but
Yeah, exactly. That's the word. White trash.
Midwestern white trash.
But I think the formula for the show is they have all the absurdity that comes with being like that destitute, right? You're gonna end up doing some like ridiculous shit, especially if you as a family like earnestly care about each other, yet you're all just defunct in like different unique little ways that just makes you self-sabotage or not, able to sustain properly without the help of someone else or whatever, codependency. And like they all have their shit, whether it's alcoholism or whatever. And what keeps them afloat is the fact that they care about each other, so they could kind of compensate for each other's like flaws. And that's the second part of the formula, which is the endearing part. It's because the show is absurd, ridiculous, funny, dark, because that's what comes with being poor, but it's also endearing because it's about a family that really cares about each other. And that's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures to see if it rings a bell. Yeah, it looks somewhat familiar.
The chick is so hot. You know what's really funny? The girl and the main love interest from the beginning, those two were in the fucking live action Dragon Ball movie. The guy was Goku, and the girl was Bulma.
Sadly, I missed that. Yeah, I never saw
You didn't
that.
miss much, man. Like, to be honest.
Yeah, I would tend to expect as much coming from a live-action anime. I mean, yeah, I'm not going into Death Note thinking, like, this is going to knock my socks off. I mean, it just seems
I'll knock your
cheesy trying to,
socks
like, just like trying to replicate, like, anime graphics within a live-action context seems impossible. But yeah, I'm looking at Huh?
Yo, you should start like preparing to visit New York soon, man.
Okay, I'm still afraid of planes. You're probably gonna like harp on me about that because that was like one of the points that you used against me. In that, like,
I didn't use it
argument.
against you, bro. All I was doing was pointing out an inconsistency in what you were saying. Okay, that's it.
Let's check the record, Kane. Let's check all of your opinions up until here.
No, I mean,
I'm a
look.
growing man.
All right, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna blame me for remembering things about my friend that he tells me, and then when they don't.
I would expect you to like treat that discussion within the confines of what it was. It was just like insulated within the microverse,
Within the
discussion.
only what happens in the comment box
Within the
can only be
vacuum of your Facebook comments. And like outside of that, there's no information to be taken. Because like, if you're just dragging in outside dirt from that, then that's just underhanded.
Well, it's intellectual. But I was facing intellectual dishonesty, man. Come on, like, that's already like that itself is underhanded too.
Like, treat the guy that you were talking to as a completely new person, but somebody with a name that you trusted enough to talk to extensively.
Yo, that's actually really creepy you say that, because some people like really do treat like social media like that. Like they'll have like whatever history, whatever with a person, but like every new post they interact on is like this like a completely different universe. Like in one post they'll be in an argument, they're like, you're a fucking cunt, like a fucking cuck. Well, you know what? You're gay, and then the next post, like happening at the same time, like they're alternating comments, and they're just having like this like calm, collected discussion about fucking the metro system in Europe or something.
Yeah, I prefer it that way actually because it means that you're not like confined to like one persona or one identity that you have to like
You
keep
know
up
what? I
like
guess
all the
you're,
characteristics of. I mean,
yeah, you're right. Because if you are one of those people who bring baggage around from everything, like constantly, like
then
I guess yeah,
you become
you have a
that
point.
guy.
Yeah,
It's like you become
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
mom of the discussion, and it's like, oh well, thanks mom for reminding me. It's like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and
That's true.
it kind of inhibits like forward growth when it comes to communication. And
But also
I
like
understand like the qualm that you have with it though, because it does seem like a little, it's weird. Yeah, to like have it's like what? So, is this profile like still you or?
yeah, it's dissociating. That's really what it is. Mildly though, it's not a big deal, but I think it is a necessary skill if you're gonna be a person who's like very online. It's helpful, I should say, to be able to just like completely like detach like the context of like two different discussions, even if it's with the same crowd or person per se.
Yeah, you have to be able to separate them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, so you know what? I'll concede. I shouldn't have mentioned that you were afraid of flying. I should have just been like, well, yeah, what you were saying was right, Kane.
Thank you, thank you. I'm happy with that.
Word.
But that being said, I am afraid of flying, and yeah, I'm not sure how I'd make it to New York without flying. And
You could drive,
I
but
could
you
I
can't.
could drive. It would,
You don't have to drive all the way though. You could drive to a place that has a train that goes directly to like you could like there's a whole train network because we have Grand Central Station, and that has all like the interstate train lines. If you're gonna like travel that way, so
that
try
could work.
that.
That's wow. Yeah, I didn't even know trains still existed.
Of
Sounds
course
so
they
old-timey.
like the Amtrak and shit. Dude, I love that shit. Traveling by train is so bomb. It's so underrated. And I want to keep it underrated because then it won't be special anymore to me cuz like half the vibe is like the fact that it's got novelty. Like yeah, I could fly there or I could travel by train by a fucking interstate
I
bullet train.
I don't think you have to worry about trains suddenly becoming the hot new thing. Like, oh man, everybody's riding the trains now. It's not cool.
Well, you know
anymore.
what? You say that, but they're coming out with this new Brad Pitt movie called Bullet Train that takes place in Japan. And I saw some trailers for it, and I was like, this is definitely, people are definitely going to watch this movie and be like, yeah, I want to travel by train now because it's so fucking exciting. And
The bullet trains are exciting, like the ones in Japan. I don't think we have those here though. We just have
we don't.
we just have regular cargo trains that tote coal. I don't even know what they.
No, we have pretty decent passenger trains, like depending on like what line you use or what network.
I'll look into it. I haven't been
Nice.
researching it too much, but I'll
Yeah,
look
that
it
would
up.
be so clutch too, cause like you would literally enter New York City, like the first thing you see in the city is Manhattan. You walk out and like, oh yeah, you're in Grand Central Station. Welcome to New York City.
Yeah, and it'd be like kind of a time warp too. It'd be like coming to New York 200 years ago.
What it would probably be like for you is you would end up taking a train that's definitely going to take you into New Jersey, and then from New Jersey you're going to transfer to a train that'll probably take you to Grand Central.
All right, Grand Central Station. Okay, well I'm glad we're getting the logistics down here.
It's probably a lot cheaper than flying too. Yo, I wonder, because I don't know if this is the case, but I think like back then, like passenger trains had like a first class section where there was like a lounge with a bar. You could smoke in there.
I'm sure there's an aristocrats section in the front where you can don a monocle and smoke what are they? They probably smoke like cigars on a stick.
I really wanna ride a train with like a private cabin. You ever see those?
Yeah, I've seen those. Like usually I see those in Europe, like European movies. They'll have like private cabins and-
We saw it in Harry Potter. You saw Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, I saw Harry Potter. That was the first
read
thought
the
that
books
came to
too.
mind.
You read the books too,
I read
right?
all the books, saw all the movies.
Same. I feel like we were. You definitely were raised by like nerds. I bet your mom and dad were both nerds.
Oh yeah, my mom.
One of them were.
My mom took me to the Harry Potter conventions whenever a new book came out. Like I remember the Order of the Phoenix most vividly. Like it was a 12 o'clock release, and we got in, like full Harry Potter garb and dressed up as wizards and took pictures. And it was back when I was actually like really excited about it and not like feeling all the social pressures of being cringy or. It was probably one of the last moments I felt of true unadulterated like joy, like free of shame, for like a fandom. And I know it's kind of lame to like have that for Harry Potter, but still, it was nice. It was a nice moment between me and my mom, and I'm glad that she got me into reading at such a young age.
Hells yeah, dude. I remember, like, I used to get hyped for I mean, 1, 2, and 3 came out immediately together as a series. But then, like, when 4 dropped, it was, like, such a dense tome, you know? It was just it was a pretty big book. It was the biggest Harry Potter book yet. And then 5 came out.
They just got progressively bigger.
I think 6 was a 2-parter, right?
Mm.
Or no, it was...
Yeah, well, it was a 2-parter movie. I can't...
Wait,
no.
there were 7 books altogether?
Yeah, there were 7 books. I think the 6th... Yeah, like, they should have been able to fit it all in one book. It was a 2-parter in the movie because they couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, the 5th book was the worst one. It was the wackest one. And the 6th one got better, and then the 7th was just absolute garbage. I was like, this was a shit ending. Yeah, so corny.
The 7th I was just, you know, I was powering through just so I could say that I had finished the series. And by that point, you know, hold on. Well, what time are we at here?
Oh yeah, we're pretty much on the second half. All right, so yeah. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our Patreon.